Ayo, what is poppin' poppers? In today's video, I'm gonna be going over my favorite Funko Pop. So let's get right into it. Alrighty, so in today's video, I'm gonna be talking about my favorite Funko Pop. I'm not exactly sure what my favorite Funko Pop is, but I have some in mind. So let's go take a look at my collection, and I'm gonna pick out 3 different pops, and from there, I'm gonna narrow it down to my favorite pop from those 3 pops. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty hard to determine what my favorite pop is in my collection. And yeah, let's just go look at my collection. I'm gonna pick 3 pops that are my favorite. With this main shelf, I guess you could say, because this is the main shelf that everyone always sees in my videos, and that's my Rick and Morty shelf. And I actually do have one in mind from this shelf right here, and that probably is the Mr. Meeseeks Chase. I just love this pop a lot. It's always changing from what my favorite Rick and Morty pop is, but right now, this Mr. Meeseeks Chase is just looking super awesome to me. I do like this one a lot. And besides that, everything else on the shelf, I would say is probably some of my favorite pops, but I'm just gonna try and choose one from my Rick and Morty collection just to make it fair for all the other pops. But yeah, that one pop I'm choosing from my Rick and Morty collection as one of my favorite pops is Mr. Meeseeks Chase. But then moving on from that, we have this little wall over here of pops. It's really random. I wouldn't say any of these are my favorite pops. These are just kind of random, I guess. Gravity Falls are pretty cool. Some of the Batman pops down there are pretty awesome. Teal Chrome Batman, definitely one of my favorite pops. Top 3, maybe not. But some of these I do like a lot, don't get me wrong. But I wouldn't say they're necessarily in my top 3 favorite pops. So for that, none of these. Also, why is this box empty? As for over here, let me move my ring light out of the way. I don't think any of these, well, maybe one of these actually, not thinking about it. Leorio has to be one of my favorite pops in my collection. So let's take Leorio and place him right next to Mr. Meeseeks. But yeah, that's my anime collection right there. Up here, I don't think any of these are my favorite pops. Walking Dead is definitely one of my favorite shows. Doesn't have one of my favorite pops though. And then over here, South Park, another great show. Probably not any of my favorite pops. So for this shelf, I don't think there's any favorite pops here. Then for this shelf over here, I don't think any of these are my favorite pops either. These are all really awesome, don't get me wrong. Maybe one of the Overwatch ones up there. Definitely not top 3 though, but one of these maybe. But these are all pretty cool pops, not top 3 though. And then up here, I can see one that's probably my favorite pop, and that has to be Salty. Let me go get Salty. Let me get Salty, let me get Salty, let me get Salty. Salty right here next to Leorio and Mr. Meeseeks Chase. I think these are going to be my top 3 pops that I'm going to choose for my favorite pops in my collection. So let's narrow it down from here. So to start off with the 3 pops here, we have the Mr. Meeseeks Chase. This one is really awesome. I don't know if it's going to be my favorite Funko Pop in my collection. It's definitely my favorite Rick and Morty pop as of right now. It's always changing. I really never have a actual winner. It's always changing. But besides that, definitely my favorite Rick and Morty pop right now. I got this one from Tristan a while ago. He gave me this alongside a bunch of other Rick and Morty pops. I do believe he got this from, I want to say, Barnes & Noble alongside another chase. He was very lucky that day. He found a couple chases at Barnes & Noble's. It probably has to be one of my favorite pops in my collection due to the fact that it's so different from its actual common version, which you can see here. He's giving a thumbs up. And then this one, he's kind of enraged with the gun in his hand from when he's inside the kitchen with Jerry at the end of the episode. But yeah, it's a really awesome pop. I'm going to have to say it's one of my favorite in my collection due to the fact that it's not too detailed, nothing too crazy. Great character from the episode, great episode in the show, and just overall a really awesome pop, and it's very different from its chase like I mentioned. Next up, we have Salty. This is another one of my favorite pops in my collection. Not only was it sent to me from a fan, once again, Colleen, if you're watching, thank you so much for this. It was also one of the pops I've wanted for a very long time now. There's only a few pops that I've actually ever wanted to get this bad, and Salty was one of them. So as soon as I got this, I was so happy with it. Salty is number 11 in the Funko line. This is actually a Spastic Plastic character, which was later changed to Fantastic Plastic. This was released for the 20th anniversary of Funko on the Funko Shop exclusive. This is probably one of my favorite pops in my collection just because of how cool it is. I do like these Spastic Plastic or Fantastic Plastic characters quite a bit from Funko. I do want to get more of them. I only have 5 as of right now. Not too many, but this one has to be my favorite out of all of them just because of how cool it is, and it's super well detailed. Just think about it. It's a sailor seagull. The alliteration's there. Just the coolness on it's there, the detailedness is on it there. Everything about this pop is so awesome, and that's why it's definitely my top 3 favorite pops in my collection. And then finally, we have my favorite anime pop in my collection, one of my top 3 favorite pops in my collection, and that is Leorio. This is probably one of my favorite shows, if not my favorite show that I have as a pop. Let me mention that, because One Piece is my favorite show. But anyways, Hunter x Hunter, second favorite show anime that I've watched, and this is probably my favorite character from this show, Leorio. So that's why I have to choose him for my top 3. Not only is my favorite character, he's also a really cool pop. When I say this, I really mean it. This pop is extremely well done, extremely well detailed. He's using his Nen ability here, which he punches Jing through the floor. It's a really awesome scene from the show. Really cool character, like I mentioned. And overall, the pop is extremely well done. Just everything about it, the facial expression on his face, his glasses kind of falling down his head, and then also his Nen ability on the bottom there with like the static around it just looks super awesome, and that's why I love this pop a lot. They put in a lot of effort into this pop, and it's from a great show. I really can't say anything else. Great show, great character, great scene, great episode, great pop, great detail on the pop. Everything about it is just super awesome about this pop. And it's a common, so it's not anything crazy like these other two. But yeah, here we have Leorio. I really like this pop a lot. Now, out of all three of these pops, it's definitely, I have to get rid of the Mr. Meeseeks chase. It's definitely either between the Leorio or Salty. And if I'm going to be honest, I really can't choose. Salty has been my favorite pop for a couple years now, and Leorio only released this year. And they're both extremely well detailed, extremely cool characters. And I think I'm going to have to go with Leorio, though, as my favorite pop, just because of the fact that he's from a really awesome anime. And I can kind of relate more to this because I've actually seen the show, as Salty is more of a, like, I guess, created character by Funko. But yeah, Leorio is probably my favorite pop. These other two pops are extremely awesome as well. Salty is my second favorite pop, and my third favorite pop in my collection would have to be Mr. Meeseeks Chase. Trust me when I say this, in a couple months, I'll be making the same video talking about my favorite pops, and it's going to be completely different. I did this year and back in May, where I talked about my favorite pops in my collection, and the only one that really made it into the video that was in that video was Salty. All the rest of them, I wouldn't really say are my favorite pops as of right now, but as of right now, these three are my favorite pops. In a couple months, it's probably going to change though. But anyways, guys, that's me for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like on the video and subscribe if you're new here. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite pop is in your collection. I would love to know. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.